Did you know that 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? That means many of us are more afraid of talking in front of a crowd than facing the unknown. But here's the thing, becoming a great speaker isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can develop, and with the right strategies, you can change your life in just 6 months. Imagine being able to stand up and speak confidently in front of anyone, whether it's in a meeting, at a party, or even on a big stage. Imagine leaving your audience inspired and hanging on to every word you say. Sounds incredible, right? Well, you can do it, and I'm going to show you how. In this video, I'll share my 6-step process to becoming a great speaker. From using your nerves to your advantage, to mastering body language, and crafting stories that stick, you'll learn practical techniques you can start using today. Stick around, and you'll discover how speaking skills can open new doors for you, whether it's in your career or personal life. Ready to get started? Let's dive in and change your life. Chapter 1. The power of your first 10 seconds. Your first 10 seconds as a speaker are crucial. According to a study from the University of Glasgow, people decide whether they like you within the first 7 to 10 seconds of meeting you. That's right, before you even speak a word. So, how do you capture your audience's attention right away? It's simple, start strong. Begin with a bold statement, a question, or an interesting fact that grabs their attention. Research shows that people remember what they hear first, so make those opening moments count. If you start slow, the audience might tune out before you even get to your main message. One of the best ways to make an impact is by using eye contact. Studies reveal that maintaining eye contact makes you appear more confident and trustworthy. When you look at your audience, you make them feel seen and heard, which keeps them engaged. But remember, you don't have to look at everyone, just make sure to connect with different sections of the audience. To boost your credibility from the get-go, use a quick, personal anecdote or story. Storytelling in your opening has been shown to create an emotional connection, which helps people remember you. The first few sentences should also be energetic. If you sound enthusiastic, the audience will mirror that energy. An energetic start tells them, this speech is going to be exciting. Finally, never underestimate the power of a confident posture. Research by Amy Cuddy, a social psychologist, shows that standing tall and taking up more space can actually make you feel more powerful. Before you start speaking, practice your stance. It sets the tone for how the audience perceives you and can help you feel more in control. Chapter 2. Unlock your authentic voice. Speaking with authenticity is not just a nice to have, it's a must. Authenticity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any good communication. According to Harvard Business Review, people are 50% more likely to listen to someone they perceive as genuine. The best speakers aren't necessarily the most polished, they're the ones who speak from the heart. So, how can you unlock your authentic voice? The first step is to stop trying to sound like someone else. Many aspiring speakers fall into the trap of mimicking famous personalities. But here's the thing, no one will ever do it better than them. Instead, focus on developing your own style. This doesn't mean you can't learn from others, but it's important to adapt their techniques in a way that feels natural to you. To find your authentic voice, consider this advice from Brené Brown, a researcher on vulnerability. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. This requires being vulnerable with your audience. Share your true feelings, your challenges, and even your failures. When you do, your audience will feel a stronger connection to you. It's also vital to speak with passion about topics that genuinely matter to you. Studies show that people are far more likely to engage with speakers who show enthusiasm for their subject. If you're speaking about something you care deeply about, that passion will shine through. And when your audience sees that, they'll be more likely to connect with your message. One effective technique for finding your authentic voice is to practice in front of a mirror or record yourself. Watch for moments when you sound less like yourself and more like you're trying to fit a mold. Adjust those parts until your delivery feels natural. Authenticity doesn't mean perfection, it's about being real and relatable. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on more insights. Let's keep going. Chapter 3. Mastering the art of silence. You might be surprised, but mastering silence can actually make you a more powerful speaker. The idea of using silence strategically is often overlooked, yet it's one of the most effective techniques great speakers use. According to author and speech coach Nick Morgan, pauses are the most underused tool in public speaking. A pause can build suspense, create impact, and give your audience time to reflect. Let's start with timing. The best speakers know when to let a point settle. After delivering a powerful statement, stop. Don't rush to the next part of your speech. Give your audience time to digest what you just said. This not only allows them to reflect but also builds anticipation for what comes next. Research from the University of California shows that allowing a pause after delivering a key point can increase retention by as much as 50%. Another reason silence works so well is that it forces your audience to pay attention. When you stop speaking, people naturally lean in, waiting for the next word. It's almost like a mental cue that something important is coming. Silence has a unique way of shifting the audience's focus, making them more receptive to the rest of your message. It's also important to use silence to calm your nerves. Pausing gives you a moment to breathe, think, and regain control of your thoughts. When you're speaking at a rapid pace due to nerves, pauses can help you regain composure. You're in control, and your audience knows it. Finally, don't be afraid of silence during transitions. When you're shifting from one section of your speech to another, a short pause can serve as a reset. It gives your audience a moment to refocus and prepare for the next part of your message. Remember, silence doesn't mean awkwardness, it's the space between your words that gives them power. By mastering silence, you can transform a good speech into a great one. You'll give your audience room to breathe and reflect, and you'll gain confidence in your own ability to hold the room's attention. Pauses make your words stick. And that's a strategy every great speaker should have in their toolbox. Don't forget to subscribe for more speaking tips to level up your skills. Chapter 4. Turn fear into fuel. If you're nervous before speaking, you're not alone. In fact, a 2018 study by Chapman University found that public speaking is one of the top fears people have, even above death. But what if I told you that fear can be your friend? Instead of avoiding your nerves, you can learn to use them to your advantage. The key is to reframe your fear as excitement. This is called anxiety reappraisal, and studies show it can help reduce the negative effects of fear. One strategy is to focus on the message, not on yourself. Instead of thinking, "What if I mess up?" shift your focus to the impact you want to have. You're there to share something valuable, not to be judged. Psychologist Alison Wood Brooks found that people who think about the audience's needs rather than their own fear perform better. When you focus on others, your nerves won't be as distracting. Another technique is deep breathing. According to a study from Harvard Medical School, controlled breathing can reduce anxiety and improve your performance. Before stepping on stage, take 3 deep breaths, slowly inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. This simple exercise can help reset your body and calm your nerves. Physical activity before speaking also helps. Research shows that even just walking around for a few minutes can lower cortisol, the stress hormone. The more physically relaxed you are, the more confidently you can speak. Another way to calm your nerves is through positive self-talk. The words you tell yourself matter. Instead of saying, "I'm going to mess up," try, "I've got this," or "I am prepared." Over time, this can boost your confidence and reduce your fear. Embrace your nervousness rather than avoid it. Channel that energy into your delivery. The audience will sense your enthusiasm and authenticity, which can make your message even more powerful. Chapter 5. The Visual Persuasion Technique. Did you know that 55% of communication is nonverbal? That means your body language speaks louder than words. Research by Albert Mehrabian, a psychology professor, shows that people trust your body language more than what you say. So, if your words don't match your gestures, the audience will believe your body over your speech. The first thing to master is eye contact. Not only does it help you build a connection with your audience, but it also boosts your credibility. A study from the University of British Columbia found that speakers who make eye contact are perceived as more confident and persuasive. Just be careful not to overdo it. Staring at one person for too long can make him uncomfortable. Instead, scan the room and make brief eye contact with different people to create a sense of engagement. Next, focus on your posture. Stand tall with your shoulders back, and avoid crossing your arms. This opens up your body language and makes you appear more approachable. Research from the University of Miami found that people who stand tall are seen as more competent and trustworthy. It also helps you feel more confident. Try it yourself. Slouching can make you feel smaller, while standing tall boosts your energy. Gestures also play a huge role in how you're perceived. A study by the University of Alabama found that speakers who use purposeful hand gestures are seen as more persuasive. When you use your hands to illustrate points, it makes your message clearer and more memorable. But don't go overboard. Gestures should feel natural, not forced. Use them to emphasize key points, and your audience will find it easier to follow your speech. Finally, your facial expressions matter. Smiling can do wonders for both you and your audience. Research from the University of California found that when you smile, your audience is more likely to feel positive emotions. A smile makes you appear approachable and helps build rapport with your listeners. So, whether you're telling a joke or sharing a serious point, a smile can help keep the atmosphere warm and engaging. Chapter 6: Crafting Unforgettable Stories. Great speakers don't just tell facts, they tell stories. Research by the University of California shows that people remember stories 22 times more than facts alone. Storytelling has been used for centuries because it taps into human emotions and creates lasting connections. So, how can you craft a story that sticks? Start by knowing your audience. What are their interests and challenges? A story that resonates with your audience will grab their attention and keep them engaged. According to storytelling expert Nancy Duarte, every great story has 3 key elements: a relatable protagonist, a challenge or problem, and a resolution. By structuring your stories this way, you ensure they connect with your listeners on an emotional level. Personal stories are especially powerful. When you share something from your own life, it makes you more relatable. People love hearing about others' struggles and triumphs because it mirrors their own experiences. A study by Princeton University found that when you tell personal stories, you create a neural coupling effect in your audience. Essentially, your brainwaves sync with theirs, making them feel like they're part of the story. Use vivid details to make your stories come to life. Don't just say, "I felt scared." Instead, describe the physical sensations you experienced, your heart racing, your palms sweating. The more sensory details you provide, the more immersive the experience becomes for your audience. They'll feel like they're right there with you. Another tip is to keep your stories short and focused. A 2018 study by Columbia Business School found that speakers who tell concise, to-the-point stories are perceived as more effective. Avoid long-winded narratives that lose the audience's attention. Instead, focus on one key message or lesson, and let that be the heart of your story. Finally, wrap up your story with a clear takeaway. What do you want your audience to learn or feel after hearing your story? Whether it's inspiration, empathy, or a call to action, make sure the conclusion ties back to the larger point you're making. A story without a clear resolution can leave your audience confused or disengaged. With these 6 steps, you now have a roadmap to becoming a great speaker. Whether it's conquering fear, using body language to persuade, or telling unforgettable stories, each strategy will help you transform into a more powerful communicator. Ready to change your life? Start implementing these tips today and watch your speaking skills soar. Be sure to subscribe for more tips and techniques to unlock your full potential as a speaker. You've got this.